Hello besties, my name is Esther. Welcome back to yet another video. I am a nurse practicing in the UK. So in today's video, we are going to talk about types of abuse in marriages, okay? Now, I know that most of the time when we hear about abuse, we always think about physical abuse because it's the one that is more common or visible, okay? But there are many other forms of abuse that can happen to somebody. Now, abuse type number one is physical abuse. This consists of hitting, kicking, pushing, spitting, slapping, everything physical. Everything that is physical is under physical abuse. So be someone invading your space or somebody preventing you from exiting a room, for example. That is physical abuse. Moving on to the next type of abuse, which is sexual abuse. Yes, I know that you think there's no sexual abuse in marriage. Of course, sexual abuse happens in marriage because consent is very important and it's required every time. Okay, we must all consent to having sexual activities, right? So you can be sexually exploited, for example, or if your partner is denying you sex, your wife is denying you sex or your husband is denying you sex because they are probably getting it from somewhere else. Now they do not want to give you sex. It's a form of sexual abuse. You have all the rights to have sex with your partner, okay? Sexual exploitation where they do not give you a break, even if you are tired from work or you just don't feel like it, doesn't mean that when you are married you always feel like having sex. So rape happens so much in marriages, and it's just swept under the carpet because you are married. But that is a form of sexual abuse. Sexual manipulation, sexual criticism, criticizing someone about their sexual activity is a form of sexual abuse. Taking videos while you are busy having sex without anyone's consent is sexual abuse. Or taking photos and threatening someone to expose them when the relationship doesn't work out, it's a form of sexual abuse, okay? And we should not ignore that. Moving on to the next form of abuse, which is emotional and verbal abuse, okay? This can be name calling, body shaming, belittling, telling the person that nobody else will love them, you are the only person who loves them, they will amount to nothing, they are nothing, they are from a poor background, they are uneducated, they came in the marriage with nothing, they bring nothing to the table, all those kind of verbal demeaning things that anyone can say to anybody is a form of emotional and verbal abuse. And to be honest, emotional abuse causes more damage than actually physical abuse, and it should not be taken lightly. If you are going through this, you need to go to your nearest police station or nearest women in child abuse. Or it's not only women who go through abuse, but if anyone is going through any type of abuse, you need to report it, okay? The abuser will say very, very hurtful things to their spouse or to their partner, and the end goal is to wreck them and make them totally dependent on them, okay? Let's move on to the next type of abuse, which is psychological abuse. This is more like playing mind games on somebody, okay? Let me use an example of a cheating partner. You have a cheating partner, a cheating husband, or a cheating wife. Now, you confront them, okay? So when you confront them, instead of them explaining or even admitting and apologizing, they will say, how dare you ask me something like this after I have provided a beautiful home for you, after I have bought a beautiful nice car for you, after I have been buying expensive things for you after I've worked so hard to make for us to live comfortable, and this is how you pay me, this is what you are going to ask me. So at the end of the day, you are going to feel guilty, you are going to start feeling guilty, you are going to start blaming yourself and doubting yourself, like, why did I do this? They will gaslight you until you apologize. You end up being the one to apologize, instead of them admitting and apologizing, and then you work on it. You end up the one apologizing. Let's move on to financial abuse, guys. Okay, this is very, very, very common, even though people do not realize that it is very, very common among married people. Okay, this is not only for married people, even people in committed relationship, long-term relationships. Financial abuse is very, very common. Okay, and I'm going to discuss some forms of financial abuse. Look, sometimes your partner will prevent you from working, okay, because they don't want you to earn anything for yourself and your family. Now imagine if you are not working, how are you going to support your parents? How are you going to support your siblings? How are you going to support anyone, or how are you going to support yourself? Because when you don't have money to your name, you do not have control of anything, okay? So they will prevent you from working and earning, okay? If they do not prevent you from working, if they allow you to work, they'll make you to work extra, work so much, and then at the end of the day, you do not enjoy the fruits of your labor, because they will take everything. They will take all the money. They will control all the money. Some of the partners, even they have the bob cards of their spouse, just for control. It's not that they are working together, they understand each other. It's just for control, okay? Now, the other thing about financial abuse is that you as the abused, you are totally controlled, okay? Like, you are questioned, you are interrogated, you are asked to explain all your expenses. What did you do with the money? Where is the receipts? How much did you spend on this? Why did you buy this? They debate with you on what is important and what is not important to spend on, and sometimes the breadwinner, which is mostly the husband, will give you little allowance or little money for yourself. Let me say you are a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home wife. They will give you little allowance for yourself that you can't even share it with anyone. You can't even do anything with it, okay? Another type of financial abuse is when your spouse or your partner uses your identity to obtain loans, okay? They obtain loans or credit cards, and then it does not benefit the two of you. It does not benefit the family. At the end of the day, you end up in big debts that you did not create, because just because of your spouse. Or another form of financial abuse is having to ask for permission to spend your own money. For example, you worked so hard, now your bob card is taken, now you have to ask, you have to beg, you have to go on your knees, you have to be polite, you have to request for that money that you've worked for. That is a form of financial abuse. Abuse is cultural and identity abuse, okay? Let's say you are a couple and your spouse is from a different country or a totally different culture from your own. So now, preventing your partner from attending or participating in their cultural or traditional activities is a form of abuse, okay? So when the spouse starts demanding that their partner should not dress in their traditional or cultural attires, that is a form of abuse. Or one example is that maybe your wife is multilingual, okay, and you only have one language in common, which is English. Your partner has their own language from their home, so you prevent your partner from speaking to other people in her own language or in any language that she knows. preventing someone from speaking in the language that you do not understand is abuse, just by preventing somebody to speak in a language that you do not understand, or their own language. That is a form of abuse. Or the other thing is that preventing your partner from practicing their religious beliefs is a form of abuse. Now I've come to the end of today's video. There are so many other forms of abuse out there, and please help me and comment down below, and let's discuss any other forms of abuse that I did not mention here. Please do subscribe, like, and leave a comment. I really appreciate your support. To my new subscribers, welcome and welcome home. I will see you in the next video. Bye.